everyone. It's Claire Sandbrook here with Shergroup on the sofa. I hope wherever you are in the world that you are in a good place today. So before we get into the interview with my lovely guest Renita today, I just want to give a shout out to our #1 fan in the world, Ross Saunders. Are you listening? Here we are. Say hello, Renita, to Rossi.
Hey, Ross, I'm so glad you're watching.
He is. And to all our friends and supporters out there for the Shergroup brand, thank you so much for tuning into Shergroup on the sofa. You've made our little show quite spectacular in our social media stats. So Renita will be plugging this and you in all parts of the world. So it's great to see you here today.
Good to be here.
I'm so excited to have Renita here today because she and I met through BNI, another one of my lovely BNI network contacts and friends, and she is a professional photographer in the extreme, supremo, and you can see all her photographs there, and she's just recently photographed me after much nagging. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I wanted Renita to come and talk to you because this is the truth. All my life, I just turned 60, as some of you know, I've hated having my photograph taken ever since I was a little girl. And so had got quite a phobia about it. And I've met a couple of photographers through BNI, and Renita's one of them. And have given me the confidence really to go and have a photograph taken for business, and I guess possibly for pleasure, but really for business for me. And so we want to talk about that today, Renita, don't we? Because that's one of your hot topics, getting people who don't like having their photograph taken to be confident about it. So I think that's great that photographers are talking about that. And so tell me a little bit, I mean, how long have you been in the photography game? I mean, how long have you been a professional photographer?
So it's been over 25 years, actually, at this point. I want to say it's 26 or 27. I need to sit down and calculate it. But it has been, over half my life at this point, which is pretty shocking. And I just love it. I truly love it.
I know you do.
I really do.
Which is great.
Yeah. And I wanted to say about, your phobia of being photographed. And this is something so common, and we see it all the time, to the point where I created a YouTube video. It's on my channel that's called "I'm Not Photogenic," because that's pretty much the first thing I hear. Anyone that calls me for pictures, first thing they say is, "Well, I'm not photogenic," and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna prove you wrong." So,
I mean, when a photographer says that to you, it's that you can be photogenic and you can help people feel confident in front of a camera, because we all need to have our own, those of us in business, and this channel is devoted to business owners. And if you haven't got a professional headshot and haven't invested in taking one, then I would encourage you to do that. I'm sure Renita would encourage you to do that because yeah,
I was gonna say, I think the biggest thing about that, and the reason the "I'm not photogenic" thing became so huge, and I think is such a misconception, is because we all have, what we call cameras today, right? Our phones, and then we take our selfies, other people take our pictures, but they are button clickers. They are not photographers. So they don't know what to do to make you look photogenic, to make you feel, to make you comfortable in front of the camera. And that's why your pictures don't look good. So now you're thinking you're not photogenic, but it's actually not you. It's never you. It's the person holding the camera and clicking the button. That's a person that actually makes the difference and makes you photogenic or not. So.
Of course. So you must scroll through LinkedIn and wince at some of the pictures that you see, and thinking.
I just think it's a shame.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame because I truly, and I say this for years now, my whole career, I think we are all beautiful. It's just a matter of figuring out how to show the features that we have that are great and kind of tone down or hide the features that are not as good. And that's what it is. And, you know, I mean, that's takes a lot of training to know how to do that.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. So, I mean, we've just been to a meeting this morning. You were talking about the holiday season. I mean, in America, the holiday season starts around now, doesn't it? With the countdown to Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And you schedule family sessions of people having their photos taken. I mean, how does that work for you? When's the best time for people to come in and see you to get their holiday photos done?
Yeah, so that's a great picture because usually right around Thanksgiving is when I get calls and people say, hey, can I come in for my family portraits? And I'm like, you mean for next year's holiday cards? Because we are booked at that point, is what I'm saying. You want to reach out to your photographer right around September and start talking about booking your session probably in October. November would be the latest. If you want to get holiday cards out by Thanksgiving, you certainly have to have it photographed, you know, in October, because there's a whole process to it before you actually can get it as a card and send out. And if it's something that you want to get done before the holidays, then yeah, I mean, December is just beginning of December, you can still do some family portraits, but after that, it's not going to be ready in time for the holiday season. If you're looking to give it as gifts, as you know, Christmas gifts, holiday gifts, Hanukkah gifts, whatever it is, it most likely will not be ready in time.
That's such a nice thing. I mean, often in this show, we touch on the differences between the UK and the US. And I think family holiday groups and photographs are a much more American tradition, shall I say, than a British tradition. I think the only people, well, I know that put themselves on their Christmas cards are the royals. But I love the fact that, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say that is such a good point because so I grew up in Israel, in Tel Aviv, Israel, and in Columbus, Ohio, and such a big difference. And you're absolutely right; it's a very American thing. You know, my Israeli friends, many of them think it's almost I don't know, like we're snobs or something for having our picture on the card, you know, or on the wall, God forbid. And the more I've been doing it, the more I'm realizing how important family portraits are. I mean, 25 years of this, you know, I can tell you, I've never had any client say to me, man, I really regret doing these family portraits. You know, what I hear is people saying, I wish I did it. So it's not just for the royal family.
No, of course it isn't. And I think it's such a lovely thing to do because it captures the family that moment in time. So if you're listening to this and maybe you're not in Renat's geography, you know, you're somewhere else in the world, but if you want to go and get a picture of you and your kids and your extended family, go and do it because, you know, time will tick by and you'll regret not doing it. As Renat said, people never say they didn't regret doing it.
Yeah, you really will. We have, you know, and there are times in life, like usually it's really great to get your family portraits taken when the kids are younger, when the kids are high school seniors. That would be like pretty much the last opportunity to get family portraits taken because then once they leave for college, who knows? And then we can get into obviously extended family and all that, but for the core family, it really is until the kids are high school seniors. That would be kind of the edge of it. The other thing I do want to say I've been doing a lot recently is I'm getting couples who are a little older, a little up there in the years, who come to me and say, you know what, we want a couples portrait for this holiday season because we are getting older and we want a great picture of us to have, and they give it out as holiday cards. So this is kind of a new trend that has been happening in my studio in the past couple of years.
I think that's lovely. I mean, the most treasured possessions I have of my family are my mum and dad. and they had never had a proper professional photograph done. So I understand that sentiment. And again, you know, times move on. We have access to people like you who are out there in the community photographing and wanting to photograph families and make it a really positive experience. I think it's great, you know, for prosperity for your family in the future. I mean, when you have extended families, I mean, what's the biggest family you've ever photographed in terms of extended family?
I want to say 35 people.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But the big thing about it is, you know, that's where I get calls if it's about extended family portraits. I get calls who say, there's no way we can align everyone's schedule.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, can I try? You know, let us take care of it. Because what we do is we call the different core families and we find a date that works for everyone. So basically, we take care of the scheduling. We take care of everything, but we start with the scheduling. We figure out a date and time that works for everyone. With an extended family portrait, it really kind of becomes a family reunion. So it's always really fun. We usually have a nice lunch, and then all the women in the family get professional hair and makeup as well. So it's a great full day experience for an extended family, and we do take care of it start to finish. So if it's a matter of scheduling, we can help. And one other way that we've taken care of extended family pictures, and I can't remember how many people they were right now. I want to say there were 4 different core families. And there was no way we can get everyone's schedules together. So we decided on a theme, we decided on the outfits, we decided on the colors and what we want. And each one of the 4 core families came into the studio separately. We photographed them separately, but we put them together in post-production as an extended family, and no one would ever know that they weren't together in the studio. So
that's tremendous. I mean, I have to say, you're very what can I say, positive about this photography session and how you think it will work. And I know that, I mean, you found a hairdresser for me, didn't you? I said to you I couldn't come in until I'd found, and within an hour you'd run me back and said, I found you a hairdresser. I'm sorry for Lena in England. I had to find a hairdresser in Orlando, and Renita found me one. I mean, but that is great, because then I had my haircut, and then I felt confident about having my photo done. Now that little things like that can really stop people from coming in and seeing you, can't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's why I say, just call me. Let me see. Most likely, I can solve whatever issue it is. You know, if it's finding a hairdresser.
Yeah. Oh, I honestly, Michelle at Vintage Sky, she's great. So there you go. Plug for her. And then now when I came in to have my photo done, I mean, I grabbed some stuff off the rail. I can't say I sat and planned it very much, but that's kind of me. But I mean, you will help people to plan what they're going to wear so that it creates a nice photo, right? I mean, that's important, isn't it? That people, you know, do have the right pick of clothes and do come in, you know, and you've got an eye for that, I know.
Yeah, so we planned the whole thing. Basically, our sessions start with our custom sessions and extended family portraits come with the design and styling consultation. So I go into the client's home. I want to see their style. I want to see the colors, the color palette, who they are, what they have on their walls, and then we go into their closet and literally pull out the outfits and figure out what to wear. And I say, just, you know, hang it up there by your door, ready to go for the day of the photo shoot. So you just need to grab it and come in. So yeah, we plan as much as we can. I think it really helps with the anxiety of the photo shoot.
I think it's very Hollywood. That's what I think. I think it's fantastic that somebody's prepared to do all that. Now, do you see a big difference between what your lady clients want to wear and how they approach a session as opposed to their the significant others, or significant, is there a difference in terms of approach between men and women to this kind of?
Yeah, so I guess it really depends. Usually, with men, that it depends. Some men say to me, well, I just have one suit and I'm going to come in and wear it. And I say, okay, well, should we look at it? Do you want to, and kind of helping opening their minds, and then they're like, oh, wait, okay, well, I can wear this too. Okay, this would be a good outfit as well. So it's almost like they think they only have one choice, and then we kind of expand from there. Find more choices for them that they're happy with. With women, what I usually find is we have a lot of options, and then it's like, well, I don't know, it's overwhelming, I don't know. So to help them figure out what will work for their session, later on what would look good in their space as a piece of wall art, so that's kind of it really helps women figure out how to kind of pinpoint what to bring in to wear.
Yeah, I think that's important, because again, left to your own devices, you could be, you could pick the wrong thing, and then you've made that investment, and you don't get the most out of you, especially if you're hanging the photo on the wall. You really want to look your best.
Yeah, even something as simple as this. There are certain patterns on shirts that create something called a moire effect in a camera. And that basically, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture where it just looks like there's like circles, weird circles on the shirt. And so we say to avoid these patterns, and most of my clients never heard of it before until I talk about it, because really it's not their area of expertise, right? So,
no.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love the way you set it all up for people. Now, of course, when we're talking about photos, it wouldn't be complete without talking about, children, and they hate having their photo taken, and they never smile in pictures. I have to say, my kids did. I've got some beautiful pictures of my family. I'm so lucky. But I know some people, can't get their kids to smile, or the kids don't want to be in the photo, or they don't want to wear what mum and dad want to put out for them. So how do you deal with the whole thing around children and making them feel comfortable?
So with children, what I find the best thing to do is to actually take the parents out of the equation. So what I ask parents is, during the design and styling consult, and as we get ready to come in, usually I say, okay, during the photo shoot, you don't need to be mom or dad. Literally, you need to walk away. Because I find that kids, when left alone with an adult, with myself, and the parents are here, like they're on the side. I mean, I don't ask them to leave completely. They're basically not involved as I'm talking to the kids and helping the kids. It's almost like it makes them feel like they need to be more mature. I never had issues. They do what I ask them to do. It's actually pretty amazing, and they enjoy it, which that's the biggest part. I sit down and chat with them for a while. We talk a little bit, we understand each other, figure out what they like, what they don't like, and then it's such a great experience for them. They run around and tell the kids, tell everybody about it. So yeah, I honestly need mom and dad to not be mom and dad during the photo shoot.
Oh, well, how good is that? I mean, that's going to put a lot of people who were thinking, well, I would do it, but how am I going to handle the kids? That's just put everybody at ease.
Yeah, don't need to
worry. Okay, so that's kids taken care of. Now let's talk about our furry friends, pets. So what's the weirdest pet you ever photographed?
Oh my gosh. I had I'm trying to think. I think it was a snake.
I knew it was going to be a snake.
That's I photographed it like this.
Oh dear. Okay, so that's one end of the scale. I mean, what do you find people? Usually, it's going to be a dog, right? A dog or a cat.
You mean with pets?
Yeah.
So with pets, again, people tell me, like I show pictures of families that I photographed with their pet sitting there all nice and handsome and, smiling to the camera, smiling the pet. And people tell me, oh, my dog will never do it. My cat will never look into the camera. And I'm like, yeah, they will. I mean, because literally the people that you're seeing in the picture told me the same thing.
Yeah.
The fact that they don't look into the camera when you're photographing is a different story, because again, I'm going back to a button clicker versus a professional photographer. I know what to do to make pets look into the camera. If it's, if you're looking for an expression, if you're looking for something specific, I know what to do with pets. But what I like to tell people, and favorite answer that people absolutely love hearing, they're like, well, how did you do that? How did this dog just sit there for the picture? And I say, well, we super glued him to the floor. We just super glued him to the floor in the studio. Not a problem. Later we just scrape it off and get them out of there. So, which we don't. No.
You don't do that. No. But, well, anyway, so she can take care of pets. So she's now handled the extended family, the children and the pets. Okay. All right. So I asked you what sort of things you've done. And so family portraits on a boat. Now, how does that work? What sort of boat? We talking a small boat, or are we talking a big boat, or what are we talking?
Well, it depends. My point is, we don't necessarily need to be in a studio. I've had families before that have a yacht that they wanted to show off. I've had families with private jets that wanted to show it off. So it just depends what we do. With a boat, it depends how big it is. Sometimes I photograph it from being on the boat. Sometimes I'm off the boat, photographing the boat and the family on the boat in the water. It just depends, but yeah, we've done anything and everything, whatever toys my clients have and they want to show in their pictures. Yes, we photograph it.
Yeah. And I guess, for some people that's a reflection of where they've got to in life. It's what they enjoy. It might be a passion.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. They love it. They have such a great time on their boat.
It's of course.
Where their family hangs out. It's where they have great memories. Yeah, they want to show it,
Good.
And it can be anything from a small fishing boat to, a yacht, whatever it is.
Yeah. No, I love that you're able to photograph the people in the environment that they, feel comfortable in and enjoy. And the whole point of these photographs is showing people at a point in their life where they're in a good place. I use that phrase a lot because obviously we've all been through the pandemic and it was tough, right? So we want to kind of pull our way out of that and just enjoy life. I think we've all learned how important life is, and this is a nice way to do it with nice photographs.
Yeah, I think anytime there's a rough situation, like recently with the Florida, we had this big hurricane.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a challenging life situation,
it
actually helps bring back the attention to what is really important. And health, family, life, that's what's really important at the end of the day. And yes, these pictures capture the relationship. They capture the values, what we care about. I was not able to see my family, my extended family, for 2 years because of COVID, right? Because we couldn't travel. And so after 2 years, we all got together. We rented a house kind of midway, and we drove from Florida, and they drove down from North America, and had a great time. But on the last day of our vacation together, we set up a portrait studio, and we did an extended family portrait that I'm currently having done as a painted portrait, which is my, it's not for everyone. It's my museum line that we do. We basically take a photograph and then paint it with acrylics and oils, and it just looks amazing. And they just, my artist that I'm working with just sent me the preview of the painted portrait, and I can't wait to have it on my wall because that means so much to me that we captured that family portrait. So yes, It's so important. It really is.
I know,
think.
I know family is very important to you, so I think that's a tremendous thing to be able to do that. Okay, so um, I mean, uh, I have actually two quite photogenic children. I think I'm the least photogenic in my family. So if they, if I came in, I mean, my son is 6'4". So if I came in, my daughter's about my height, but if I came in, could I hide behind my son? Would you how would you handle that? The mother that doesn't want to be photographed.
So isn't it interesting, moms ask that on a regular basis, and think about family portraits. Many times, just scroll on your Facebook feed or whatever social media feed you're on. Look at family portraits. Most of the time, you don't see mom. She's behind the camera. She's the one holding the camera. And she could very well be very talented, with photography. That's not my point. But my point is most of the time she's not in the picture because she doesn't like how she looks. So that's a way, if you're behind the camera, you don't have to be in front of the camera type of thing.
Yeah.
So no, we don't need anybody to hide behind anybody else because again, I'm a certified photographer. I have a craftsman degree in photography. I know how to utilize light and posing again to accentuate the really good features and then hide the features that are not as great. So instead of hiding behind someone, we pose you and light you in a way that is flattering to you. And everybody looks great in the family. You don't need to hide.
Okay, ladies, you heard it. All you mums out there, you don't need to hide in photographs anymore. You can be right front and center with your kids, framing you.
That's right. Totally. That's right. Absolutely. That's a great way of putting it. I love that.
I certainly say that to my son. Okay, now again, just talking about the variety of work that you do. I mean, you don't expect people just to come to your studio either. I mean, you're intrepid. You're going to go out and photograph people in environments that they want to be photographed in. So what does that look like? You go down to the sea or you go out to wildlife? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we travel internationally. I mean, we'll go anywhere.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I will say the one thing people call me and say, we want a family portrait outdoors. And I say, okay, sure, yes, we can do that. But why? Can you tell me why? And most people say because when we're outdoors, it feels more natural, it feels more relaxed, more comfortable. And then I show them pictures from our studio of people in the studio looking natural, relaxed, and comfortable. And they're like, okay, well, wait, that makes sense. And there's something about the studio shots are associated with a more poised, royal family type of pictures.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily. There are many styles that can be done in the studio. And one of my favorites is the dancing family, is what I call it, where we figure out what is their favorite music and they have a dance party over here. And that is the picture. And that they love it. And it goes on their wall and it's so much fun.
Okay.
Yeah, but we do go anywhere. I mean, yeah, we recently had a family that there was a spot on the beach that meant a lot to them. So we did family portraits on that beach. Yes.
Yeah, I love the flexibility. So, and this is very true for me. So if I said to my husband, we've been married 36 years, if I said to him, look, I want to do a family portrait, I want to put it on the wall, he's gonna say to me, I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to be alone, am I? I mean, there are lots of women that tell me I'm not on my own because
no. So every now and then, I'm trying to think. I want to say in the last 2 years, it probably happened once.
Yeah.
That the husband was the one who initiated the portrait session. And he was the one that wanted the family portrait on the wall, and he knew what he wanted, and he planned the whole thing. That happened once. I photograph full time. So everybody else, I hear what you just told me. You know, the husband doesn't want to come in. He doesn't like his picture taken. It's not going to be fun. And I say, that's okay. Just if you can get him here. That's all I need. Just get him to be here. That's it. So, you know, usually, honest to goodness, you have to drag the husbands in kicking and screaming, you know, like just like the kids. But then they come in here, and when they leave, most of the time, it's not most of the time, it's all the time, really, all the time. They turn back to me, the husbands on the way out, and say, "This was so much fun.
Oh, good.
Like I never imagined this was going to be so much fun." So
That's great.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
keep on at him. He takes a great picture actually, so he, you know,
yeah.
less to worry about than I have.
You just have to drag them in. That's all it is. Once they're in here, that they'll enjoy it.
So there you are. If you're in that same groove as me, then you heard what Renata said. Just get them over to her studio. I love the whole makeup bit. That's what I love. I love the, you know, I think your lady, when I came over a few weeks ago, she just left Sephora and she had every Sephora product under the sun on her table.
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing. It's so much fun, isn't it? Just to sit in the makeup chair and relax.
It is. It's
Just
the
amazing.
most relaxing thing ever. And so, okay, well, you've been doing this, as you said today, for a quarter of a century, a little bit more, maybe. How old were you when you first picked up a camera?
5. No, I'm kidding. Actually, that is the truth. Funny enough, to answer your question seriously, I never thought I'd be a photographer till I went to college. Totally happened by accident because the classes I thought I wanted to take were full, so I couldn't attend them. So I just chose some electives.
Yeah.
One of them was photography because my mom enjoys photographing. Seriously, that's what happened. And then they put the camera in my hands, and that was it. I mean, I had to figure out how you create art out of this, you know, box, like
Yeah.
all these buttons, the box with all the buttons. But my mom recently found a picture that was my first picture I ever took. So it's a portrait of my mom and my dad, and it's a little crooked, which I kind of like. But apparently my dad handed me the camera, and I was probably 3 years old, 4 years old,
Wow.
because they divorced after that. So this
Yeah.
is how old it is.
Okay.
And you can see in the picture, they're so smiling and happy. This is film days, so it's not digital, so you can't see previews, right? And they're just looking at me proud and happy of me taking their picture. And it was so amazing for her to take this picture and for me to have it. So
great
yeah.
that it's great that you've still got that picture as well. You know, it's very,
Yeah.
very precious, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. All right. Well, thank you, Renata, for sharing some insight on how easy it is to photograph anyone, wherever they are on the spectrum of their photogenetic thought process, whether they think they are or they're not, and anywhere in between. You're going to take anyone and make them look the best that they can in a picture, which I love. I think that's a great gift from the photographer to you know, people in general, because we all sit there and worry about it. So thank you very much for guesting today. Now you're a social media, you know, you're a social media fan like I am. So your website, tell me about your website and your channels. Where can people find you?
My website is my name, so it's renathalon.com.
Yeah.
RINATHALON.com. And then when you're on my website, if you scroll down to the bottom, there are the links to all my social media channels.
Right.
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we do have a YouTube channel, so with some videos on it. And I want to say one last thing before I forget, Claire, because you know you keep talking about not being photogenic, and I just photographed you, and I really hope that whoever edits this video is going to plug in a few of the shots that I took of you, because I think you look amazing. And
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll get my video guy to do that because I'm really happy with them. I had some photos done when I was just turning 50, and they were the best I'd ever had done. And that's how I learned really that people like you exist and you can make people feel comfortable. And I just think it's so important for business people to have that professional image that reflects, you know, them and their business, but also their DNA, you know, what makes them tick as a business person.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's part of the reason, something we kind of didn't talk about, and I'm not going to get into now, but my other end of what I do is I specialize in branding photography, personal branding photography. And that's where we take the headshot and really expand on that concept and come up with images that are relevant and engaging, specifically to the target audience.
yeah.
And really represent the business owner as kind of as a whole, you know, as a person, as a whole, because we do business with people we know, like, and trust. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, so yeah, there's a lot there, and I love it. That's actually some of my favorite things to do is the branding photography.
Great. Well, listen, I'm going to put all your links in our show notes for today's interview. And thank you so much for guesting today, Renata. It's been fascinating talking to you. And keep sending us, you know, your content. We'll keep looking you up on LinkedIn and sharing stuff that we see that we like around you, because you're part of our community now in Shergroup. So welcome to the Shergroupies. And for everybody else, that's it for today. Don't forget that you can catch us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe this session if you've enjoyed it on YouTube. We're building our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of great guests on there now. Our website, our main website is shergroup.com, and we also have shergroupusa.com now, which is related to our security business. You can find us on all the main socials, just like Renata. We're all doing it, and we're all trying to make ourselves look engaging and you know, and come and talk to us about the problems that you have in your business, whatever business you're in. So just check us out on our website. So bye everyone. Thank you so much. Bye Renata. We'll see you soon. Come and see us in the chapter. Okay. Thanks everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye.